Today's video addresses the question of what happens if the amendment for repairs has not been fully negotiated by the time the option period expires. The answer is, it depends. If the repairs are not fully negotiated by the time that the option period expires, it does not mean that a buyer and seller can no longer enter into an amendment for repairs. All it means is that the buyer no longer has the right to terminate the contract if the seller does not agree to do the repairs requested by the buyer. This question actually came up yesterday, but with a twist. The repair amendment had been submitted by the buyer during the option period. The seller had countered the repair amendment, but then the option period expired. The buyer did end up accepting the seller's counteroffer, but only after the option period expired. So the question is the seller bound to the repairs? The answer is yes. The only effect of the expiration of the option period is to end the period in which the buyer can terminate the contract. The expiration of the option period does not end the buyer and seller's right to enter into amendments to the contract. In this particular instance, the seller had made a counteroffer to buyer, which was still open. The expiration of the option period did not terminate his counteroffer. As long as that counteroffer was still open to the buyer had the right to accept it and bind the seller to the repairs. If the seller did not want to do those repairs, the seller should have rescinded his counteroffer prior to buyer's acceptance. And remember, all rescissions must be in writing. This very situation has come up before and it warrants discussion. Sometimes the buyer does not respond to the seller's counter. And although it has been several days since the option period has expired, the seller cannot take the position that he no longer has to do any repairs. As long as the seller leaves his offer to the buyer open, the buyer can accept it and bind the seller. This could happen right up to closing. So, in the instance where repairs are being negotiated back and forth, when the seller has made the last counter and the option period has expired, if the seller no longer wants to do those repairs, he must rescind his offer before the buyer accepts it. The market is good out there, and I hope each of you are seeing your business flourish. Allegiance Title would like to help you with your title needs. Please call on us. We are your resource for results.